They're paying for all the food, it can't be bad. It's complicated, it involves the government, but it's one of these kind of messy organic things that you have to deal with on a case-by-case basis. They're paying for all the food, it can't be bad.
Number 3. Are there any geriatric tortoises with asthma in the room?
Good morning, my name's Kevin. I'm one of the organisers for the weekend. We've got some really, really good prizes. So you can win any one of the following. You can wear a really nice pair of headphones. There's iPod Nanos, there's Apple TVs, and there's Wi-Fi Kindles.
So, the main reason we are all here today is that we need to get a lot of people who ordinarily think data is not their thing, it belongs to techies in the corner. We need to get them to think this is worthwhile because we need them to play our games, we need them to, and I mean that literally, we're building our tasks into games. We need them to be willing to publish more stuff. We need the senior civil servants and the politicians, the MPs, to say, yeah, this is a good thing. We want to encourage everybody in all government departments and local authorities and NHS trusts to participate. But most of them don't get excited about data sets. They don't like spreadsheets. It's just not their thing. They do, however, get really excited about apps and stories.
LinkedGov is what happens to you when you moan about something for long enough. I'm sure most people in this room at one time or other who've never dealt with any data set, especially a government data set, your first problem was the licensing was all screwed up, and the second problem was the format was terrible, and it was missing headers, and it didn't make any sense, and all of this kind of stuff.
You didn't PDF.
And when they really proudly tell you that data's in PDF, because that's an accessible format.
My team's responsible for verifying that they meet those standards. And so if anyone has, some kind of innovative use of Crown copyright and, there's not an appropriate license to put that under, we'd be the people that you might want to send an email to saying, we're having some difficulties there with the terms and conditions on offer. So that, in a nutshell, is the whirlwind tour of copyright in government and in data. to take government data off their FCO travel Twitter feed and alert users in relevant countries about information that might be relevant to them. So
in the feed, we ended up with this, and here you go, Luke.
Yeah, so what we've got here is a list of countries. We've got the terrorist threat that we got from the FCO, and then we also looked up in the tariffs data how many measures were taken against that country, and we wanted to compare the two and see if there's any sort of correlation between things that had some sort of embargo or whatever, and whether that meant there was more terrorism.
Okay, I need to find the least politically engaged person in this room. at the back, what's your postcode, please? And over time, that device there is going to keep checking in with the website. And every time a new piece of information of local significance comes in, it will be added to the display like this. And then occasionally some nationally significant news about your area will come in.
We wanted to find some way to show the citizens what the restrictions actually are. So we figured we'd make a game, which is called Keep Calm and Smuggle On. So I'm going to type in my name. So I started with some money, and I'm going to sell cotton yarn to Libya, and I'm going to sell this to Iran. So, of course, different countries, if there's restrictions, they will pay more. But I can also get caught, and if they catch me, I pay a fine, and I might go bankrupt. In this case, I did great, and I got £10,000. And you see here, this is a chart of the number of restrictions to each country.
Okay, we'll go with the microphone. Christopher Hitchens, the journalist, once made a statement that he wanted to visit one particularly fucked up country per year in order to really appreciate what he had living in the West. We thought we would build a travels advisory service in order to enable people to follow this alternative vacation prospect. Using both the SEO travel advisory database and the tariff database. And so we've rated all of the countries of the world on a basis of corruption, crime, disease, natural disaster, prevalence of fierce creatures, and so forth. With the visualizations we have available, you can pick what sort of disasters or troubles you want to face. Be they criminal, in which case South Africa and Angola are particularly good, or if you want to go for the natural disaster scene, Japan with the earthquakes and so forth is much sexier at the moment. You've also got the tie-in to the tariff database, so if you're visiting Sudan, as you can see down here, travel, you can like Sudan and tweet about where you're going and so forth. We are going for a travel affiliation, probably with lastminute.com. You may not want to bring aircraft launching gear with you, bombs, grenades, torpedoes, men or boys, overcoats, swimwear, skiwear, and firearms, which would be very bad to get through customs, no doubt. Again, with the various holiday places, we decided we wanted to have a metric of how boring your country is. We went with Belgium. And so if you are visiting our website, you can look at each country and score by the number of Belgians it is. Afghanistan is 2.6 Belgians at the moment in terms of the advice that the SEO gives. Other places, yes, corruption, don't go to the Seychelles, that's 900 Belgians. Terrorism, Afghanistan tops that out at 58 Belgians at the moment. Turkey's just behind and Saudi's just behind that. Australia's pretty good for fierce creatures. Saudi Arabia, a little bit of history extracted from Wikipedia, all pulled together in order to try and convince you where it is you want to go. Oh yes, and the weather, which, what's the weather in Afghanistan at the moment? Light drizzle, 7 degrees C.
So this is tariffing, so this is taking the tariff data and allowing you to keyword search it for whatever thing you're trying to import or export out the EU. So I know the example that works quite well is horses. So if you search for horses, you get a whole load of results for horses and how to rate them for going out of the country or EU. If you are searching for, say, dead horses, so flogging horses, then I suppose you'd search for horse meat, and that specifies it a bit further.
The SEO travel advisory data feed, and basically I built an app, a voice app, so it's running in a cloud platform called Tropo. The idea is that you can phone a number, so we have one phone number for the world, for any UK citizen, called UK Phone Home, a bit of a pun on the ET thing. Whenever you're in a hotel in wherever you might be, Libya, Egypt or something, and you wake up one morning and open the curtains and there's a whole load of tanks and rebels and things out in the street, and you go, oh shit. And you turn on the TV and it's all in Libyan. The idea basically is that you want to get the advice, but the lowest common denominator is everybody can make a phone call. So even in your hotel room, you pick up the phone and you dial a UK number, it's 01259 340404, and if this is turned up, it actually looks at the number you're calling from, gets the country code, works out
Hello,
what country
press
it is.
0 to call the embassy. Travel summary for Egypt. A large-scale demonstration is scheduled to take place in Tahrir Square on April 8th.
Hello. So I'm Roderick, and I'd like to show you this map thing I made called Visa Free. The idea behind this initially was to have it so it would return them in a list of the ones you can go to where the flights are the cheapest. So I was trying to use the Skyscanner API.
So this is using the Foreign Commonwealth API, all of the data that's from the Foreign Office, so entry requirements, safety and security, their advice. If you click embassies, it will actually list all the embassies that are in a given country. So if I pick Austria, should hopefully work. You can call the embassy, you can email the embassy.
Hi there, we built Are You OK? What we were doing with the data was we were scanning it every hour and looking for changes, and we figured how to make that useful would be if you were either in a country or planning a trip to a country, to alert you to the fact that something's going wrong in that country. And then we thought, well, what we should do next is build a little web app that lets you get your situation out to people who care about you.
Again, we just took the contract finder XML and we just made a basic keyword search, so free text search. When you go to contract finder, so on ours, you just put in what you're looking for, search, and you get a simple list. And you can see the essentials, so title, the organisation that's tendering. But on the contract finder website, when you go in to do the search, there's lots of tick boxes, and some of them are automatically selected for you, and it's not obvious immediately. So basically, we were just making it simpler.
And results don't show the organisation name, for instance, as well.
An example of really making it easy for people to do really quite a difficult thing in difficult circumstances. That is shown through Sam, the UK homework. We've taken the data which came through the LinkedGov channel and turning it into something which really could make a difference to the openness of government, transparency, and which has a real business potential as well. So for the best use of data, it's UK Gov contacts, the tweet stream.
So the Seriously Silly Hack Award goes to Keep Calm and Smuggle On.
Okay, so it's time to say goodbye. It's been a great weekend. I want to say a huge thank you to LBi, our security team who are upstairs. I'd like to say a huge thank you to the crew, who this event wouldn't happen without. We've got Melinda, has some goodbyes as well and thank yous that she wants to make.
I do. I want to start by thanking all of you for coming along. Your creativity and productivity and humour far surpassed my expectations. We've got so much out of this weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been phenomenal.